Why your best customer is costing you money. You've got a customer you love. He's in every few weeks, always asks for you by name. He's probably referred half of his street to you, and he never ever argues about the bill. You probably think they're your best customer. So every time his car's in, you make sure you look after him. You knock a bit off the invoice. You don't charge for the half hour that you spent ringing around for his part. You squeeze him in ahead of the job that was actually booked in for that morning, because that's what you believe you do for your best customer. But here's the problem. That instinct, keeping the person you believe to be your best customer happy, is exactly why they can be your worst account. The customer you'd never let go is quietly draining more margin than the bloke who haggles over every dollar and you probably can't stand the sight of. And you can't see it. Most people can't, because it doesn't feel like a leak. It feels like good service. But the problem is, this isn't a customer problem. It's a measurement problem. You're grading your customers with your heart, not with your numbers. Now, in a minute, I'm going to show you a simple grid that tells you exactly which of your customers are making you money and which one you're actually paying to keep as a part of your business. But we've got a free guide called Why You Need to Raise Your Prices. It goes straight to the heart of what we're going to be talking about on today's episode: charging what the work is worth without scaring off the customers who truly matter. The link is in the description box below. You can go and grab it at the end of today's episode. Now, let's start with why this happens, because it happens in almost every auto repair shop. If you ask an owner who their best customers are and watch what they do, they don't reach for a report. They start listing off names. They talk about the loyal ones, the friendly ones, the ones who are easy to deal with. But every one of those is a feeling. It's not a number, and it's definitely not a fact. Now, here's what nobody tells you about loyalty. Loyalty gets bought. Think about how you actually earn it. Don't worry about that, mate. The little discount that you don't even mention, the half an hour here and there that you don't put on the invoice, bring it in, I'll fit you in somewhere. Every one of those is paying for the relationship. So the warmer the relationship gets, the more you tend to give away. And the nicer the customer, the harder you find it to charge them properly. Let me draw this out for you, because once you see this, you can't unsee it. Let's look at the loyalty trap. Now, look at where the feeling is highest, okay? It's the top love. So along the side here, let me just go back. Along the side here, we've got your margin, right? Goes from high to low. Along the bottom here, we've got how you feel about your customers. You either love them or you loathe them. Now, where is the feeling highest? You love them closest here, right? But if we look at this arrow here, the blue arrow, this one, right? The way you feel about them is highest on this left-hand edge, okay? But look at where the margin is for that same line. The margin along this slide, right? The margin is actually lowest here, okay? So the way we feel about them and the margin we make, it's actually lowest along this edge, right? And that gap right here, this gap, that's what you're handing to the customers you like the most. You're giving them money out of your own pocket every single week. You're not doing it deliberately. You're not doing it intentionally. In many cases, you're not even doing it consciously. It just happens because you believe being a nice person and treating your best customers in the right way is the right thing to do. Now, I sat with an owner not so long ago who swore that their best customer was a local fella with a handful of cars. He'd been bringing one of the vehicles in every single week, referring his mates for years. He knew everyone by first name at the counter. But then we actually helped them pull the account apart. We looked at the discount on every job. We looked in where they were booked in ahead of work that was already locked in for other people, right? And here's the killer. This customer's hours were quietly getting written down at invoicing every time, so the bill looked fair. His best customer was actually his lowest margin account in the whole shop, and not by a little bit, by quite a substantial amount. So the fellow I was talking to, the owner, like, he wasn't being loyal to that customer. He was subsidizing him. He was lopping the price off, and he was calling it friendship or calling it loyalty. And that's the loyalty trap, right? The better the relationship feels, or the harder you work to make the relationship feel good, the less you actually generate from the work and the less you make as the owner. And the warmth hides it the whole way. If we look at the other side, right over here, we've got the customers that you loathe, strong word, but you don't necessarily like it when you see that their vehicle is booked in, or you see them walk into your shop. So you don't tend to take care of them as much, or you certainly don't consider that you need to take care of them as much. So your margin's actually high. So on this side, we get a higher margin. So here we're making less. Here we're making more. And I think we can all agree that's probably not exactly the way we want the relationship to work. We're sure you're treating your best customers well, but it's actually costing you money. Might not be huge amounts, but over time, the more loyal that customer is, the more regularly they bring in their vehicle, the more often you're applying a discount, you're missing out on a considerable amount over the lifetime of loyalty that customer shows to your shop. So if ranking your customers by feel is the trap, then what do you do instead? Well, you rank them on two things at once, not one, but two. Let's call this your customer grid. Bottom here, we got profit. On the side, we got priority, right? This is, when I talk about priority, I mean like how much care, how much love, how fast you are to accommodate them, either through your discounting or getting them into your booking diary, okay? But profit is how much margin your customer actually leaves behind. It's low on the left, it's high on the right, okay? And up the side, as I just said, this is how much you look after them. It's how much you love serving them, how much of a priority you make them whenever they contact you, or whenever they have any of their vehicles or jobs booked in for you. It's low on the bottom and it's high on the top. Now, bottom right, okay, high profit. But you don't fuss over them. So these are the sleepers. Okay, they're high profit, but they're kind of a low priority. What does that mean, right? You don't fuss over them at all. They pay full rate. They're no drama. And you probably barely give them a second's thought. But these are the customers, your sleepers, are the customers you've been taking for granted while you were busy looking after someone else. Now let's look bottom left. Okay, this is low profit, but low priority, right? These customers are the drainers. They probably haggle on price. You probably don't enjoy dealing with them, or you don't enjoy doing their work. And this becomes an easy one. You reset the terms, or you let them go. And there is a great saying that says, keep your competitors busy with the customers you don't want. Now, if we go to top right, okay, so this is high profit, but high priority. Okay, so high profit, you make good money off the jobs, but they're high priority, right? You work to get them in. These customers are your gold, right? This is any auto repair shop's genuine best customer. You want to protect these people, and more importantly, you want to study them, because your whole job through your marketing, whether that's online, offline, word of mouth, however it is to go and find more people like your gold customers. Pay full price, but also appreciate your fullest priority and your fullest care. And then there's this top left where they're high priority, but they're actually low profit. And most auto repair businesses will call these customers their favorites. This is the customer from the start of the episode, right? The best mate, the one who's actually your worst account. And this is the trap sitting in a box where you can finally see it. And here's what changes for you, right? Here's what changes for you the moment you do this. You stop managing all of your customers in the same way. You stop pouring your best service into the box that pays you the least, and you stop confusing a warm relationship with a profitable one. Your gold customers are still a warm relationship, but it's profitable for both. They get high priority, you get high profit. Because now you can see your customers are in different corners of the grid, and you can see the difference with your own eyes. You've got this grid, 4 boxes, and you know which one is quietly costing you the most amount of profit. Now, stay with me, because in a moment, I'll give you the 3 questions that tell you exactly which of these 4 customers to reset first. And this is exactly why we built the free guide, why you need to raise your prices. It walks you through how to charge what the work is actually worth, including with the customers you've known for years, without the fear that they're going to walk. And we've heard this argument for the 13 years now that we've been working with auto repair business owners. But if I raise me prices or charge full price, all my customers will leave. No one has ever seen all of their customers walk out the door. They might lose 1 or 2, and they tell us the same thing. We were really happy to see them go. It's the piece that most owners are missing when they finally decide to fix a favorite. Why you need to raise your prices. It's free. The link's in the description box below. You can go and grab it now, then come back and finish the rest of this training. So let's get practical and understand how you actually use this in your shop this week. Now, let's start with an anchor line, the writer downer. Your favorite customer and your best customer are not always the same person. Say that to yourself. Your favorite customer and your best customer are not always the same person. Now, 3 questions that go along with that, right? Question 1. If you ranked every customer that walked into your shop by the margin they leave behind, not by revenue, not by how often they come in, and definitely not by how much you like them, who's actually at the top and who's at the bottom? Most owners have never, ever looked at their customers in this way. And truth be told, the list will absolutely surprise you. Some of your favorites will be right down by the bottom, right? They'll be down here. They'll be on this side of this grid. Question 2, the customer who you would call your best, when did you last charge them your full rate, on time, with absolutely nothing shaved off the final number? If you can't remember, you've already got your answer. And that's not a customer, that's a standing discount with a name. They're either a favorite, if I can finally get this to work, they're either a favorite or they're a drainer. You can categorize them appropriately from there. And question 3, which of your favorites, right? The folks down here, the ones that you say you love, which of your favorites are you subsidizing out of your take home pay? And what would it cost you to stop doing that? Like, run the number. A handful of accounts at a proper rate instead of a mate's rate is often and almost usually worth thousands of dollars a month. And that is money that you are currently giving away, handing over, and labeling it as loyalty. And this is exactly the work we do with owners inside the engine room. We take their customer list, we help them to rank it on real margin, and we plot it on a grid. And almost every time the owner points at the top left box, this one, favorites, and goes quiet because they've just recognized the person that they're actually protecting. So here's the shift I want you to make from today's training, right? Loyalty is not the same as profitability. Feeling warmth, feeling nice is not a margin. And the customer that you believe you would defend to the death might be the one who's bleeding you the quietest. Now, you're not firing your best mate. You're charging what the work is truly worth, which is what you'd do for a stranger. And let's be honest, it's what a real friend or a truly loyal customer would expect anyway. So rank your customers by contribution, not by how guilty you feel about the number on the invoice. That's the shift I want you to make. Now, if this episode has you thinking differently about your business and you'd like to see how we help auto repair shop owners escape overwork and build businesses that don't depend on them, you can learn more by clicking the links in the description box below. There's no pressure to do anything. There's absolutely no sales calls that you'll have to hop onto. Just a bunch of clear, useful information that will help you to decide if now is the right time and we might be the right fit to help you with your auto repair business. I'll see you on the next episode of the A Grade Auto Repair Shop Show.